Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to LinkedIn for Purpose-Driven Founders with Tina Ruseva. My name is Colin Mahan, and I'm a program manager at the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center. And for those of you who may not know, the Nasdaq Center is a nonprofit that's building a better path for entrepreneurs worldwide by improving inclusion, access, and knowledge in entrepreneurship. As you may have seen in the chat, the Nasdaq Center, along with our partner Mentor Cloud, launched a free mentor matching platform for entrepreneurs called Mentor Makers. You can create your own advisory board to guide and inspire you with in-the-moment mentorship from topic experts and professionals dedicated to providing exceptional mentorship to entrepreneurs across all races, industries, and geographies. So find or become a mentor today by using the link in the chat. Mentorship matters to all entrepreneurs. Their success is dependent on it. Quick housekeeping item, we're going to open up our live Q&A at the end of the event, so please submit your questions in the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen throughout the presentation. Now, none of what we do here at the center could be possible without all the amazing support from our sponsors, including Nasdaq, Lehigh University, Bank of the West, KPMG, Wilson Sonsini, Woodruff Sawyer, and BPM. We're grateful and humbled by their contributions. During these still unique times, before we get started, we're curious on how sentiment is among the entrepreneurs in our audience today. So I'm going to launch a quick poll to just let us know how you're feeling. Are you optimistic? Are you feeling a little bit of anxiety? Are you in survival mode? How are we all doing? We've got people from all over the world. Thrilled to have you all. So let us know. We've been measuring this since the beginning of 2020. So hopefully optimism's on the rise, but do know it's still challenging times out there. All right, so I'm going to share these results. Looks like optimism's in the lead, but totally understand there's some survival mode, anxiety, and a little bit of fear out there. So hopefully our presentation today will help alleviate some of those negative sentiments. So without any further delay, please join me in giving a warm welcome in the chat to our special guest. Tina Ruseva is founder and CEO of Mentessa, and she's a graduate from our Milestone Makers program. Tina, welcome.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here, especially when optimism wins. This is my crowd.
Love to see it. Well, Tina, so excited to learn from you. Thanks again.
Well, thank you for your time. I have prepared something that we do very well in my company, and the presentation that I am about to share with you actually was created in a mentoring effort where every founder in the program was supposed to share what they do well with others. I hope it helps you as much as it helped my peers, and I hope you give me feedback about what we can improve afterwards. Are we ready to begin? Let's do it. I called this presentation LinkedIn for Purpose-Driven Founders and not LinkedIn for B2B sales because I wanted to put the purpose of it into the middle. And this is, you are all entrepreneurs, you have a passion, you want to change the world, you want to make a positive impact on it, and this is what you're doing. You're not here to sell, you're not here to, get a funding or whatever else. You are here to create an impact on the world. And I believe that LinkedIn is a tool that can help you do it as it helped us. My name is Tina. I originally come from Bulgaria. I live and work in Germany. My company Mentessa is based in Germany. And I'm really interested in those things written here on the slide: people, purpose, diversity, future of work, entrepreneurship. And those are the things I write on LinkedIn. Those are also, not surprisingly, the topics in my work. And this is why I think it works very well. Before we begin, I want you to really take a step back and reflect a few things. And you can share your answers with us in the chat if you like. So the first thing is, imagine you're at a social gathering, those things before the pandemic where you are at a party or at a company event or just a place where there are a lot of people. And please share with us in the chat some of the things people do at such events that drive you crazy. I'm sorry if you hear the dog barking. I'm sure he will be calm very soon. That's Murphy's Law. So think about, what do people do at social gatherings that drives you crazy? Yes, a sales pitch is a very typical one. Talk too much about themselves. Only talk about business or work, yeah. Sometimes small talk is annoying. Or not being present, that's really great. People scanning for who is popular. Oh, thank you. Those are really, really, really great answers. And while you keep on typing and sharing what you think, because this is like really, really, really valuable advice on what not to do on LinkedIn, I will open up my next slide to show you what people in Germany say when I ask them this question. You will surprisingly or not surprisingly find that they find the same things to be true. So in a group of people who are too loud or talk only about themselves or just are there for the business or to sell something or are way too pushy can be very, very annoying. And that's actually why a lot of the content on LinkedIn we do not like, and we unfollow people who are sharing it, and we just, a lot of us feel really lonely on the network, and that's because a lot of other people do all those annoying things. But we're optimists. So I would like to invite you to switch gears a little bit and just think about the opposite. So think about a person that you like a lot. It might not be at a party. It can just be someone from a family or a peer or a colleague or a mentor. And share a few things with us in the chat that you really like about them. I'll give you a few moments. Yes, people who listen are great at parties too. People who share their knowledge, who are knowledgeable by themselves, who ask questions, who are present and engaged in the conversations. It's a little bit like the opposite, but also a few different things are coming up. So someone who is caring and who is really there for the others. And you can say a lot of things about, such people. We think they're rare, but I believe that there is a person like this in each and every one of us, but we don't really know how to show this type of our personalities on social media. This is why I'm sharing with you this presentation. And these are the things that people in Germany say when I ask them. So in this word cloud, you will see a lot of the points that you named. So people empathetic, straightforward, authentic, or fun, or charismatic are great to be with. People we like, but also the two keywords that are really pop up very often were honest and funny. And I think that if you take those two for LinkedIn, you will do a great job for you, for your company's purpose, and for your mission. And funny is difficult to learn, but honest is something everyone should just dare to be. And I believe that if we all were more honest or more authentic on social media, were more listening and more present and more there for the others, this place would be a little bit better for us, at least on LinkedIn. So my advice from today's evening, if you have to leave, you can do now, because this is everything I want to tell you. LinkedIn is just a room full of people. It is my quote, and it took me 2 years to learn it. And I now, knowing this, want to share it with as many people as I possibly can, because I believe in people making change as a community. And I believe that if we were all more like this on LinkedIn, we would all help each other more. And then, therefore, the world will faster turn into the right direction. So, to summarize, why should you be on LinkedIn? People will tell you many, many things. They will say that this is a million members are on LinkedIn, 750 plus, that 200 countries worldwide are represented, that it's the biggest professional network online. And of course, experts will tell you, FOMO, don't miss it out. You cannot afford to miss it. I find this advice not so good, because it makes people do all the nasty things that you dislike. It makes them feel they have to be loud. It makes them talk about themselves. It makes them, not present, but really just hitting out content into the world. I personally believe there are better reasons for LinkedIn, and that one of the main things you can take with you today is that the digitization has not only changed business, it's changed also sales, and it has changed how we people perceive others on the digital network. And there are two books that I can recommend you to read on this. The one is a little bit older. It's The Intention Economy by Doc Searls, a super famous technologist and visionary and a blogger who wrote many, many years ago that through this new power of software and the possibility of everyone to participate in the discussion, we kind of are flipping paradigms from companies are offering some products and some people who match with those products buy them. Those are the customers. Towards people can share, potential customers can share their needs and demands free on the internet, and companies will be bidding with the best service that matches it. And I think this is a great reason to be on LinkedIn. You can listen about the problems of your customers. You can be empathetic yourself and a great listener. You can find out what the new employees matter about in the company. That's a great reason on itself. The second reason is social selling. Today, we are bombarded with content and information, and just having a nice brochure and an offering are not enough to buy a product, because you just always need this little extra, and people buy from people. It's a relationship business, and this is why there is this wonderful quote by Ted Rubin: a network gives you reach, but a community gives you power. I think it's totally also aligned with the values of the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center, and I would invite you to start thinking about LinkedIn like this. So to sum up, and maybe to add on this, instead of just fearing the medium and doing what everybody else does just to make some bucks, I think there are three better reasons to be on LinkedIn. The first reason is, as an entrepreneur, you have a huge responsibility. You want to make an impact on this world, create a change, and you don't have any resources, or not as much resources, as many resources as you would need. So you really need this power of community, and you should use this free medium out there in order to support you on your mission. The second reason I find personally very compelling, I am a computer scientist by heart and vocation. And I really, when I started doing stuff on LinkedIn, I just really wanted to find out how it works. I find technology is fun, and having something fun to investigate can be a reason enough. It is for a lot of people, be them technologists or not. But it's just if you see it as a game, and if you just want to invest a little bit of time to get to know the medium and what you can do with this, it is a lot better basis to work on than just be fearful and no, I have to do this. And the third reason that I have is LinkedIn is a room full of people, right? And people need other people in order to be successful. They need them for mentoring. They need to share their knowledge for self-actualization. There are studies that show that happiness actually depends on nothing as much as on relationships with other people. So why would you want to miss 200 million of people? Because this is the power of the internet, right? In this big sea of potential, you can find the handful of other makers and doers that can support you specifically on what you need and on your mission, or who you can support. So power of community, those are three better reasons to be on social media or on LinkedIn specifically. So then there is a study from McKinsey on the future skills. And if you take a look, there is another fourth reason to be on LinkedIn. Among the top 10 skills for the future work, the two highest, the two top priority are networking and relationship management. So think about the fun and figuring out how it works. Think about the room full of people, and just use LinkedIn to practice. Because no matter if it is on the medium and if you chat with someone, or you are at an event, at a conference, and you just approach somebody to learn about their work or present what you do, it's absolutely the same. I will show you, I will prove it. It's one-on-one. So it's a great place to practice, also for new talent. So without further ado, before I tell you how to do all this, I want us to dare a step into the truth and to present to you the Social Selling Index. It's a free tool that LinkedIn introduced in order to give people an indicator where they are in the process of becoming great networkers and great relationship managers and great people sellers. So you should have the link in your chat for the Social Selling Index. Just click it. If you're logged in on LinkedIn, it will immediately open your results. If not, just log in and you will see a diagram similar as to the one that is on the screen. I see the link in the chat is without an HTTP, so I will just add it and share again with all of you. Now you can click it, yes. And if you like, you can share what is the number that you see on the bottom left with you. So some typical number is around 60. So often between 30 and 60. If you're not an influencer, then you should have something like this. Yes, that's the range. That's typically what people have. Exactly. So that's when you have a profile and it's all like kind of set up, but you don't really actively post on LinkedIn and you're not making it your priority. And I just want to say again, fun and technology, LinkedIn is a business. It has a business model and it serves to promote content. They sell advertising. So never forget that no matter how big your heart is, there is just a set algorithm that works. So never take it personally. Take this dashboard less as a quality of your content or profile and more like a dashboard on a game. So who on this game is doing more and is has a better score? Nothing more. It's not you, but it's what you're currently doing, and you can use this score actually to improve your results. And if you're an entrepreneur, I suggest you do it because it's free and it's really powerful. I will show you. We actually bootstrapped Mentessa until 1 month ago, until our first funding round, and all of our sales came from LinkedIn. I will show you how it translates into business, but really take this index as a reference and as a help to improve. And you immediately see also from the dashboard what you can improve. So there are 4 points, 4 different elements of your social selling quality score. And those are: 1, establish your professional brand; 2, find the right people; 3, engage with insights; and 4, build relationships. So this is kind of your to-do list if you want to have a higher score. Oh, and by the way, I can show you mine. I made a screenshot before the event. So I currently have a 84. I must say I've never had more than 86. And it's also very volatile. So during the first months of the pandemic, when I was super busy at home with the startup, but also with my kids at homeschooling, I didn't have time for socializing and social gatherings on the internet, no networking on LinkedIn, no sharing of content. So it dropped by until, I don't know, 60 or something. So it is really volatile. It can change also from week to week. And don't worry, not personal, just take it as a reference. So what you can see here on mine, on my dashboard is, it's in German. I'm sorry. I'm based in Germany, as I said, but the points are the same. So your professional branding, that's the first one. You see that I kind of have a very, very consistent use of, what I'm talking about. In the beginning, I told you that I'm personally passionate about some topics and that there also are the topics of my work. So it kind of is well aligned. And this is why I have a rather high score on the personal branding. Then there is a second score, how you find the right people. This is a score of how well you're using the search and filtering functions and inviting contacts into your network. I have not been that much outgoing about this lately, so I don't have such an optimal score there. And the third point is, giving insights about your daily professional life. So this is when you make a selfie from the office and say, starting the day right, or you make a picture with a customer of yours and say, today I'm visiting the office of Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center. I posted today a picture with a consultant or a mentor, you can say, who is helping us with our pricing strategy. So this is all counted as insights in your professional life. And the reason that you need insights next to all the other things that you're posting is, remember, a room full of people. Nobody likes people who only talk about business. You even wrote this yourself. Nobody likes people who only talk about whatever, the same thing. So you really need to be as human as possible and just allow this variety to come in. I don't have such a high score here because I spent quite a lot of time in home office lately, and I just don't feel it's happening so much. But this is something, for example, that I get as a hint from my dashboard that I can improve. I should be more, on a picture on my feed. And the last thing is building relationships. That's where I'm really good at. So what you can do to improve this is just, congratulate people for their jobs, comment on the post that you like or that you find interesting, share your opinion, follow up on stuff, reply people on the chat. This is something that I do very well, but I also do it well outside of LinkedIn. So this is why I believe that the metaphor with the people and the room of people really well applies for this network. A small watch out. LinkedIn is one of many social networks, and I want to tell you that they all have their different metaphors. So what works on LinkedIn well, not necessarily works on Twitter. For example, there I don't have 14,000 followers. I think I have 300 or 400. I haven't logged in there for quite a while. It's a different thing on Instagram. So just find a metaphor for the medium that you want to explore. Remember, it's fun and it's not personal, and it can serve your business. And as an entrepreneur, you need any resource possible to make it happen. So I asked people in Germany, what do they think, what makes their social media posts successful? You can share a few opinions if you like in the chat, but I think that this screenshot is actually very comprehensive. So people think that good headlines, good videos, good pictures, good stories, hashtags work well on LinkedIn. Exactly, Russell. But Russell here says something really, really important. What makes a social media post successful and what makes a person in a room full of people successful, or just a nice opponent for a conversation, is that they connect with their audience. So it's not just about the how, but it's also about the what. But we people, especially we entrepreneurs, we are super excited about the how. We are constantly busy with how to write a business plan, how to make a go-to-market strategy, how to find a mentor, how to, but we very often neglect the what. So it's really important that it's not just about, okay, how do I make a perfect post with the perfect picture and with the perfect headline? You have to give a little bit of your heart into it, and your heart that this is our mission, that this is your mission and your values and all of the things that drive you. I have on my screen this wonderful old man, Jeremy Clarkson, and I'm sure you have known him, a big star from BBC, and he likes cars and big cars. And during the pandemic, he moved out to live on a farm and made a Netflix show on how he, did his farm. And I just wanted to share this example here because of the big machine behind him. Really, in this show, he had a lot of resources and great machines. So, like, I don't even know the name of this. Is it a tractor or something else? But you need such tools to do a farm, to farm, but those tools are just your technical competence. So it's like, if you have a machine like this, you can do certain things. If you have LinkedIn, you can do certain things, but that's not all, because in the show, he really made us laugh with a lot of examples of how not to use the machines. So he lacked the methodical competence. And I think that when it comes to LinkedIn and social media, a lot of us just feel it's so easy because the interface is easy. It's not like the tractor. It doesn't have 200 buttons and you don't need a special license to use them. It looks easy. It's technically easy, but methodically, you still need a competence. So I will share with you a lot of things on how to do it, so methodically, but you should never forget it's technical and methodical competence, but it's also is a little bit of your heart, because in order to connect with the audience, in order to be a nice person in a room full of people, you just have to be yourself, and you just have to do things that really matter for you. Otherwise, you're not authentic, you're not listening to the others, you are just talking about sales and all of the other annoying things that you shared with us on the chat. So having that said, I want to give you an example how we did it. And for this reason, I want you to know what I am passionate about, or what we at Mentessa do. So I'm only sharing the vision, our mission here, so that you can see it afterwards in our posts. So Mentessa is an inclusive community platform. We connect organizations so that every person can talk to everyone else and learn from each other. Yes, it has a little bit something to do with mentoring, but it's more about integrating people into an organization. And our purpose is to help everyone become part of a community. We want to remove barriers for development and collaboration for everyone in the workplace. So having this purpose, what are the things that we are talking about on LinkedIn, or that I am talking about on LinkedIn? Those are like all of our values. So diversity and inclusion is one of them. Talent development, both personal and also in professional context. Also, mentoring is one of the topics, but democracy too, because, in a community where everyone has their place, this is kind of a decentralized organization, democratic, also some new words like holacracy, and of course, the future of work. Why? Because we believe that in the future, we will move away from jobs and departments and work more as a community. There will be more self-employed people and more cross-company collaboration. So those are literally the things that I speak and write on LinkedIn about. And here you can see a few posts. I am sorry, most of them are in German. I think all of them here, but you can just see the different hashtags. So having those values aligned and my company purpose, I'm just writing about things that relate to them. I'm not always writing with the same hashtag or about the same topic, but when I relate to something in the news, or when something happens where I find a value connected to all of those topics I told you, I share them here. And you can see, for example, I shared about a new law that empowers women in the workforce, or about female founders, or about entrepreneurship and an investor on Dragon's Den here in Germany, Die Höhle der Löwen, who did not invest in a startup, even if he said that he was truly with their impact. So I found this interesting, and very many different topics, but always with some similar hashtags on this. And what I want to tell you about this is, you don't have to be always the same. So remember, the room full of people, you're not talking only about the same thing and only about work and business and selling. And I very, very seldom talk about Mentessa on LinkedIn, but you are showing out your values and respectively the values of your company. And by this, you're connecting to people. So remember, social selling, people need to like you first before they even find the time to listen to you and your job, and maybe buy your services. So This is how we, without budget, without advertising, without spamming people, without sending mass mails or some customized whatever robots things, really generated or still generate a lot of incoming customer requests who just saw something on LinkedIn, checked us out, and as you see here, a full calendar of demos and also speaking engagement. So it's people business. It's not a direct connection between a LinkedIn post and then a demo, but maybe it is a LinkedIn post and then it is an invite to an event and then it is something else and then it is about Mentessa and then it is a demo. I actually found one of our business angels on LinkedIn. I was sharing a lot about female founders and diversity in tech, and he was interested in the subject. So I invited him to some online event where he visited. Then we follow up on something. He invited me to a diversity summer school, and when we were about to fundraise, he just became our investor. So it's a relationship like everything else. It needs time and space to flourish. Don't cut to the chase too quick, but just take this advice and give first and be yourself. And then this room full of people will be exactly the source of support that you need. And of course, next to the what, having said that, this is really important to me, you also need the methodical competence. So you have the technical competence, the tools, that's what it does. It has this algorithm, it brings you to people, it shows you the relevant content. And now you need this methodical competence piece. So how to use the tractor to farm the land. And in the last 10 minutes, I will give you a checklist and you will get it as a one-pager from Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center after the event, because it's a lot. So what you can do is, if you remember the social selling index, there is this branding thing, there is a lot of contacts, there is visibility, and then there is engagement with people. And this funnel I have drawn here, it's typical sales funnel, right? You need to generate contacts and then somehow engage with them. And then they will, approach you for information. And then if you do everything right, there will be a call or a demo or whatever. So in order to do this, I have divided it into 4 steps that all lead to, more demos or more customer calls or more, requests to speak or whatever is success in your business. Before we start, I want to tell you that there is a threshold. So if you have a few hundred contacts, and if you do a great post or if you write an excellent blog that is, New York Times ripe and share it on LinkedIn, it will still not get a lot of engagement. So there is a kind of a threshold that you need to reach in order for this technology to work. This is just how it works. And typically they say you have to have about 5,000 contacts or more, and then you are able to generate more than 10,000 views on your posts. And by having this, you will be able to connect with new people on the network and as many new people as possible. So maybe more than 2,000, that's my average numbers here. And then if this happens and if your profile is well organized and people click on you and just engage with who you are and what you're offering, then you will be generating new leads through LinkedIn with the social selling strategy. So there is some threshold that you need to reach, but it's not difficult and you can do quite a lot of things about this. I will share with you now. So for our case, this is the funnel. So as soon as we reached more than 5,000 contacts, we could do just from LinkedIn 5 new demos a day. So how to do it? The first step is create more relevant contacts. And this is, I think, very easy. LinkedIn has sophisticated search and filtering functions that little people know about. So next time when you go on the profile, not just search for a person, but actually there is a drop-down menu that says show all filtering options. And in this menu, you can search with different operators. You can, oh, that's my next slide, but in order to generate more relevant contacts, what I want to say here is you can invite people. If you're polite, just think about this metaphor It's a room full of people. Do not write such long emails. Nobody likes to be approached by somebody who just starts talking, never ends, immediately says something. Just say, hi, I'd like to connect. And that's a good start for a conversation. It's not your lead. It's just the start of a relationship. You can send an invite, you can send a message, and there are paid tools by LinkedIn. I'm not talking about them. It's all, everything I'm saying is freely available. So here is the filtering and search panel that I was talking about and wanted to show you. So if you open up all filter options, you will see that you can actually search for specific job titles. For example, in our case, it's senior HR director. Specific keywords, it can be something like human resources, but no freelancer. So you can use those operators. You can search for specific industries like insurance and finance, and you can do all that for free on LinkedIn. Very, very few people have ever tried to click on the all filters button. Please try it out. It's really great. And if you're looking for new hires, by the way, we're hiring, you can even filter for education. If you're doing some proactive active sourcing of candidates, you can filter about education status and other stuff. So check this out. Find relevant persons and just be nice and approach them as on a party with a drink in the hand and say, hi, how are you? I'd like to connect. Tell me what you're doing, and not more than this. Give people a chance to be heard. The second step is, once you build more contacts, and you can start with step number 2 already today, is to create more visibility for you. And it's terrible, but it's an algorithm, and it's done for, connecting content to people. It's not done for connecting people to people, but it's really about showing content to as many views as possible. So in order to be visible, you have to generate content as well. Content is not just what we think about this, the videos and the pictures and all that stuff. It can be comments. And commenting is actually the one single most important thing for you in order to start getting, new contact requests and more visibility for your posts. Why? Because LinkedIn is an opinion network. It's a room full of people and they have opinions. There are other social networks that are more like an album of memories or for showing off. LinkedIn and Twitter are opinion networks. So giving an honest opinion, when you have one, to something, not an automated smiley on other places, but like really saying, I agree or I disagree, and those are the reasons, is a great booster for your visibility. And you don't need a lot of time for this. You don't need to create a video or write a blog post. Writing a welcome note to people who contact you and you accept in your network is another one. Sending a welcome note to contacts that you invited is something I don't do, but it is powerful too. Suggest a meeting to contacts who react to your content. See here, it's not when they connect you and then you spam them with your sales pitch and your calendar link, but it's when they react repeatedly with the stuff you're writing. You can then say, oh, wow, let us meet finally. We've only been here in touch through the posts. Birthday greetings, I always do it. I always do it also in real life. I don't congratulate people I don't know. So a lot of people congratulate me that I've never met. But, just being nice to people and being yourself really helps. And sending birthday greetings to people who you honestly want to congratulate and know is a great way to do it. Never send voice messages to new contacts. As a mother and entrepreneur who is always busy and never alone, I can tell you it is very, very annoying. I know it's a Gen Z thing and it can be very powerful on other networks, but LinkedIn is a room full of people and just running around with your boom blaster is not the option. And the most important rule on social media and in life, give first. So before you ask about, an appointment or someone to follow you or whatever, just give, share your opinions, congratulate, be nice, be kind. As in a room full of people, this will pay back with people liking you. A few really important do's and don'ts. Don't send a huge, email. I already said this. You can see here the conversation was muted right after the relationship started. It was dumped. So it's just not the way it works, not on a party, not in real life. Don't send too many informations. There are 500 links in this text. I've never read it, so I don't know. It doesn't work. Be nice at the party. So when we go to a social gathering, you kind of want to show your best side. So make a nice picture, make a nice description of yourself. Don't use just some random picture with some crazy things on the back. And this is a second really important hint. Take good care of about your handle. So if you go to LinkedIn now and find your LinkedIn profile link and you share it in the chat, first of all, you can all connect with each other. That's great, right? When we're at a LinkedIn session. And secondly, you can see how those candles maybe are different from this one here. So if you like, or if there are a few courageous ones among us, you can share your LinkedIn handles. Yes, I see. Oh, all of your handles are already customized, so you don't have any numbers in them, any, strange signs. That's great. That's not the case in Germany. In Germany, people typically still have their automatically generated URLs still. You can change it, and you can change it from your profile. I really advise you to do so with something that you can easily memorize. First of all, because you have to type this address very often. And secondly, because it makes a better impression on others. So I see a few numbers here. So you learned something really useful. Go check your handle. This is really a good thing for your visibility and for your personal branding. The second last step before you get to more calls or demos or, visibility is to get more profile visitors. So once you have a lot of contacts and you share contact and engage with people, LinkedIn will start suggesting your profile to others to connect. And they will naturally, just some of them will click on your profile, and it will be like starting a conversation on the party. It's not like they have heard about you or they're seeing you somewhere in the room, but you're really starting a conversation. And if you have been really nice and really funny all the time, but then you start a conversation and it's kind of a totally different thing. So if you haven't been authentic, people will know, and this will not lead to anywhere. But if your content was relevant, and if you had some repeated formats, or you just could be somehow predictable, you will then in this conversation be yourself, and it will start a good relationship. And the people who have clicked on your profile for a reason will say, oh, that's what I expected. Let us talk more. How can you do this? So you can improve your profile, you can create a content plan. I think this is way too professional for a startup to do. We have never had a content plan for the next 30 days, but you can have a kind of a entrepreneurial version of a content plan. What I mean by that is just a strategy, and to say, okay, I want to share an insight about my work as a founder this week, and I want to share some interesting news that I have read this week, and I at least want to share one article from my favorite newsletter because I always read this guy or girl and I find their work great. This is also giving first, and by this you can hack the really cumbersome content plan for the 30 days, be super lean and super authentic about it, and still be sharing stuff regularly. Another thing I can recommend you is to create a business plan. So everything I said was your personal account because it's social selling, it's person to person, but there is a reason to create a business account. The business account only, so here for Mentessa, has a feature that's called content suggestions. And when you click on this, you will get automatically generated links to articles and posts that others who are interested in the same area where your company or business are interested in. So if you are completely clueless about what to share and talk about, you can check out this list, and you can first inform yourself, and second, you can, if you relate to something, you can share it with an opinion. Let's do as a wrap up, let's do some post check. So here is what I did. I'm interested in diversity, I said, and how we can make a better future of work. And I found early last year this article on the World Economic Forum. Scientists thought only male birds sang until women joined the research. This post did not have the most impressions on my list, but it's definitely one of my favorites. First of all, because I had a really cool opinion about this. I really like when I can formulate a thought and I just don't have opinion on everything. And I think it's very natural. But here I had a clear opinion. That's like crazy. That's an interesting fact. Then it was a quality source. People like to be educated from quality sources and not just from some no-name blog or something. It was also a less popular fact, which makes it interesting. It's a news, right? It's a huge thing that scientists discovered. And then I used the relevant hashtags that are super well aligned with my branding. So the post was shared a lot of times, and it was a good timing because in the pandemic, diversity and inclusion of women was really discussed a lot. Then Sarah Blakely, I follow her a lot. She's really fun and she has always those clear messages. And here is a different post. She has a nice picture of herself with a personal experience, but still living her passion, empowerment, and you have to dare to be yourself and be courageous, and using the relevant hashtags that she always does makes it a good post, and it had numerous views. So the next post I want to share with you, and this is the last one, is from Melinda Gates. I checked it out on her profile today. This is the kind of insight I was talking about. She was visiting somebody and she's sharing, okay, what am I doing in this business? It's again a nice picture. It's an important date. And she's living her passion with some good timing. There is a difference when you post, but you shouldn't be bothered about this. Just be yourself. And the last point is when people click on your profile, they shouldn't be super surprised. So you should have nice pictures, a good description of your job. I know people like to be original and just write something catchy, but just remember there is a room full of people. If it is a joke, maybe not everyone will get it. And just put more information about yourself in the box, into the info box, so that if someone is really interesting, they can find more about your work, maybe even recommendations by customers, or some further links, some videos. Maybe they can book you directly. It's a preference thing, but you can even record your own video and just show them the next step of your personality. Think about all of this as the chat after you met. And that's it. If you just do all of this, but if you embrace this metaphor of LinkedIn being a room full of people, you will very quickly be able to leverage its potential for your business for free. And I really care for this because I believe that entrepreneurship today is the most powerful way to change the world. So I really want you to all be successful. In a nutshell, the key things to remember: LinkedIn is a room full of people. Never be annoying. Just be what people like to be yourself. Don't use it for the fear of missing out, but use it to help your company's purpose. Your change is really important in this world. Use this free tool, and always in life and online, give first, and you will wonder about the results. That was for me. I'm really happy to hear questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tina. That was great. Amazing insights, and hopefully LinkedIn becomes a little bit more of a community after people learning from you, because that's awesome. Everyone's saying excellent presentation, amazing, amazing, amazing. Before we jump into Q&A, just a quick poll on what's keeping you up at night. So for those of you still in attendance, let us know what programs you would like us to host in the next coming months. We use this information similar to the information that I invited Tina to the stage to guide and inform the future programs that we host. So thank you all. Looks like sales is at the top of the funnel. Look at that. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you all for sharing. Now, Tina, we've got some questions in the Q&A, and for those of you who still have questions, drop them into the Q&A function. I don't want them to get lost in the chat. First question is from a milestone maker that we just onboarded for the spring cohort. So Russell, hey Russ, what do you think of LinkedIn automation tools like Linked Helper?
Yeah, we don't use them. I believe that social selling happens between people. I know it's very tempting to, shoot a message to 1,000 people, but you don't need 1,000 leads in a week. You need like 1 demo, 5 demos. And I believe that you can be very much more effective than just doing this at scale, especially if your product is a B2B product. So where you know that people are not on this network to find this. It's a room full of people. They're there to discuss their professional life. Maybe there are some other places that are more targeted, more visual, more, optimized for buying stuff. LinkedIn is not this, so I don't think that there is a good use case for sending out automated messages.
Super helpful. Another question, to contact LinkedIn contacts, would you use an email under their contact me or the LinkedIn Messenger?
No, I actually use, so for me, LinkedIn is my Slack with the professional community worldwide. So I actually, I wish I could show you, but for privacy reasons, I can't. I am sending hundreds of messages every day there with my contacts, with my friends. So I really use it like my community platform, and that's enough. That's perfect. And you should never take a person's email, even if you have access to it, and shoot them an email on another channel, because they will be confused. They will be like, oh, you're the guy I saw at the party, but we didn't met there. So why are you stalking me here on the street?
That's helpful. Let's see, another question here. How do you get to the search function? Do you need Sales Navigator to use that?
No, it's the free search function. So on the upper part of LinkedIn, there is a search field. You just type a keyword that you're interested in, for example, Tina, click search, and there will be a button, all filters. And when you click this, you will see the panel I showed you in my presentation.
Yeah, the filters is the fun way
with all the options. No, everything I said was for free. So there are other tools, and you have maybe professional advice for them, but everything I showed and shared with you is with the free tools of LinkedIn.
Awesome. Amy, the recording will be available. Let's see. Let's more about, I believe they're asking about Mentessa Heart, the online community platform in the presentation. Do you have a link? We can drop a link, I think.
Sure, absolutely. I can even do it.
I think Isis got us.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. So it's Mentessa. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Mentessa.com.
Yeah.
I created a female version of the word mentor because I wanted to show this idea that everyone can be a mentor, and people should connect more with also different hierarchies and different departments, and just help each other more. Love it.
Does your company develop LinkedIn business pages for other companies?
No, I have nothing to do with LinkedIn. So this presentation was the result of a startup peer-to-peer learning session. Other people in the cohort were telling about AI algorithms, and I said, okay, what can I do really good that's working for us? And because I really suck on other social media platforms, and I finally figured out LinkedIn, I just decided, okay, that's something I can share. It's a room full of people.
Love that. What's your position on LinkedIn groups?
Oh, super good question. So unfortunately, they're broken. They don't work. Indeed, there are a lot of automated address scraping tools that actually download all of the emails and people that are in a certain group. So this concept is broken on LinkedIn. I am super excited how the company will fix it or, think about this. But unfortunately, there's just sales stuff in there if anything is happening at all in the group. And the only thing that you're risking by becoming part of one of them is that your email is bulky downloaded by a robot.
That's very, very helpful. Hopefully they can improve it, but I think some of your insights are pretty awesome today. let's see. So I think you talked a little bit about this, but can you double click into what your ideal approach is for somebody who you've never met?
Oh, yes. Well, like on a party, I would always have a reason to get into contact with somebody. So if I heard this person talk, if they are in a group and they're discussing something that I find interesting or just curious, I will just go there, stand by, listen. And if I have an opinion, only then I will comment. So how you do it on LinkedIn is you just read the post of this person. They read them repeatedly. If you have an opinion, you comment. And this is how slowly by slowly you suddenly know each other. And I actually know so many people from LinkedIn. I meet them at events and they say, oh, I know you. And I share this and that. And they really are delighted because then I'm the same what I am on the network. So if you really want to approach somebody because of their title, so let's say we are selling to HR and we want them to change how they work, I would just not sell Mentessa in the first place, but I would just say, hey, I'm interested in this area. Would you like to connect? Remember, it's a party. Nobody wants to be alone on a party. So people typically just accept those requests. They also want a network and a reach and visibility. So that's good. And if you're selective and honest about who you want to be in contact with and just are not sneaky and salesy, you will see if the people who you connected with are sharing stuff that you really matter about. And if they are also with your values. Remember from Deepak's presentation last week, it's a currency, right? So you're exchanging stuff based on your values. So why would you like to sell your products to some people who you really disagree with? And LinkedIn is the place to build a relationship first. And then after a few months, after a few different touch points with speaking engagement, with something else, it can work out.
I love it. Well, Tina, we're at time, but I wish we could get to so much more. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with our community today. I learned a lot, and hopefully everyone in attendance did as well.
Thank you for having me. And
we're so stoked.
Fix those handles on LinkedIn.
There you go. If nobody didn't take away anything other than that one's a good one. But everything that you've shared today has been super helpful. On behalf of everyone on our team and everyone in attendance today, thank you, Tina. We're so stoked to continue to follow your progress. For those of you still on, please fill out that survey to give us feedback on what you'd like to learn in the future. And also, we look forward to welcoming you back online in our future events. So have a great week, everyone.